Imagine a moment in history, a single letter, an acceptance envelope delivered to a young man's door, rewriting the course of the 20th century. What if Adolf Hitler had been admitted to art school? How different would our world be if a painter's brush, not a dictator's ambition, had shaped his path? To understand this deep what if, let's set the scene. It was Vienna, early 1900s. Adolf Hitler, then just a drifting young man, yearned for the life of an artist. Twice he applied to the prestigious Academy of Fine Arts Vienna, showing his portfolio with trembling hands and desperate hope. Twice, the admissions committee rejected him, citing a lack of talent in painting people. These rejections struck Hitler hard, sending him into years of poverty and bitterness. As we know, this bitterness festered, growing into twisted ideologies and eventually shaping one of history's darkest chapters. But what if, in an alternate timeline, the Academy saw promise in his architectural sketches and offered him a chance? Let's explore the possibilities, starting with the first ripple such an event would cause. If Hitler attended art school, it would not only change his career trajectory, but also the entire course of his personal development. Art school promises an environment of creative expression, peer collaboration, and exposure to ideas, cultural, philosophical, and technical. Surrounded by fellow dreamers and thinkers, young Adolf might have poured his intense emotions into canvases and sketches, not memoirs and manifestos. The frustration and isolation that characterized his early adulthood could have softened, replaced by the rigors and rewards of creative discipline. Without profound humiliation and anger fueling a personal vendetta, Hitler's life might well have taken a quieter, even productive route. Imagine him studying under the greats of Vienna, refining his hand, perhaps becoming known for stark cityscapes or evocative architectural drawings. In this world, maybe he's an illustrator laboring in European capitals, or perhaps a lesser-known painter eking out a living, passionate but never famous. Instead of blaming societies and searching for scapegoats, perhaps he would debate brush techniques in smoky cafes, chasing the elusive dream of artistic recognition. But what about the broader historical consequences? Here's where the mental dominoes really begin to fall. Without Hitler's charismatic but dangerous leadership, Germany's post-World War I turmoil might have unfolded very differently. The National Socialist Party may have remained on the fringe, just one of many voices in a cacophony of post-war discontent. Lacking Hitler's electrifying rhetoric, the party would struggle to coalesce radicalized elements and seize mass appeal. The Weimar Republic, fraught with problems but still a democracy, might have staggered on, eventually stabilizing with economic aid or homegrown reforms. The grand, horrifying machinery of the Holocaust, meticulously engineered under Hitler's vision, might never have been set in motion. Would World War II have happened at all? Without Hitler, Germany would certainly have had its grievances after Versailles, but perhaps a different, less fanatical leader would have prioritized negotiation over conquest. European politics in the 1930s were turbulent, yet most historians agree that Hitler himself was the catalyst who set the world on fire. The alliances, invasions, and atrocities that rocked continents likely do not occur, or at least not on the same scale nor under the same banner of hate. Let's expand the lens even further. No Second World War, as we know it, would mean no Holocaust, the greatest crime against humanity in modern history. The millions of lives lost, Jewish, Romani, disabled, dissidents, and countless others, might instead have been lived, creating new generations, new art, new science, and new stories. The geopolitical landscape would also look much different. The United States may never have emerged as the unrivaled global superpower forged by war. The Soviet Union's influence may not have spread as rapidly across Eastern Europe. Technologies driven by the desperate pace of wartime, such as rockets and nuclear energy, might have developed at slower paces or followed entirely different trajectories. At an even more personal level, families across the world would have an entirely different history. The sacrifices, trauma, and memories passed down from that era might be replaced by stories of ordinary life, migration, and peacetime innovation. Cities destroyed in cataclysmic bombing might retain their original beauty. The cultural works lost to looting and fire might still hang on the walls of European salons. Of course, history rarely hinges on just one individual or one event. There were deep social, economic, and political pressures bubbling up across Europe. Yet, one can't overstate the significance of a single life, especially when that life ignites the passions and prejudices of millions. Hitler's path from would-be painter to dictator is a cautionary tale of wasted potential and the dangers of radicalization born from personal dissatisfaction. Reflecting on this alternate history, a new kind of discomfort emerges. Are creativities allowed to flourish where they should? Does our society provide enough outlets for passion, especially for those who feel alienated or rejected? The pain of artistic failure, felt by anyone whose dreams shrivel in the harsh light of criticism, can have far-reaching consequences if met with isolation rather than encouragement or redirection. So, what would have happened if Hitler got into art school? No one can say for certain, but the mere act of imagining this scenario reminds us that history is not just about dates and battles. It's shaped by individuals and their experiences, by opportunity and rejection, and by the choices we make every day individually and as societies. A single yes or no can echo through generations, altering not just one life but countless others. As you consider this what if, ask yourself, how can we nurture creativity, guide ambition, and catch those teetering on the edge of despair? Perhaps by recognizing talent in unexpected places or simply offering support to those who need it most, we can write a better future, even if we can never change the past. If this exploration sparks your curiosity, take the next step. Delve into history's turning points. Question how small moments shape big outcomes, and consider the hidden what-ifs in your own life and community. Sometimes reflecting on the past can help us shape a more thoughtful and compassionate future.